Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Mike Doherty. I'm a full-time real estate agent and investor here in Connecticut. About 6 years ago, I left my corporate job to pursue real estate full-time, and I haven't looked back. Today, I help a lot of clients and investors, probably like yourselves watching this video, buy and sell property all over Connecticut, scale their portfolios, and build long-term wealth through real estate. So, today, I want to talk to you about how to buy your first multifamily property. You know, a lot of people want to get into real estate investing, but they just don't know, where to start. And I definitely didn't know where to start when I began. And in my opinion, one of the best ways to get started and how I got started is buying a small multifamily property, living in one of the units. And it's a strategy a lot of people call house hacking. You know, a lot of people watch Bigger Pockets or listen to Bigger Pockets, and they've deemed the word or deemed the strategy house hacking. So we'll call it house hacking today because I owe lots of Bigger Pockets. So as you may know or may not know, you can actually house hack up to 2 to 4 units, so 2 family, 3 family, or 4 family. You can live in one unit, rent out the others, and start building wealth while your tenants help pay down your mortgage. So again, in this video, I want to walk through the basic steps of buying your first multifamily property, and let's get started. So the first thing you need to understand is the difference between residential, multifamily, and commercial property. A 2-family, 3-family, or 4-family is usually considered residential property for lending purposes especially. Once you get to the 5 units or more or mixed use, it's typically considered commercial real estate. And that matters because, again, the financing is different. For your first multifamily, I really truly recommend just going for a simple 2, 3, or 4 unit because you have a lot more flexible loan options. You may be able to use FHA financing or conventional financing or other owner-occupant type loans if you plan to live in one of the units. My first rental was a duplex. Again, I lived in one of the units. I rented out the other unit to, I think, a colleague at the time at my work, and I bought using that FHA loan, that 3.5% down first-time home buyer's loan. It's a really great program to get into owning a property for cheap. That is one of the biggest advantages instead of needing 20 or 25% down like many investment loans require to acquire the property. An owner-occupant buyer may be able to buy with a much lower down payment like a VA loan or a CHFA loan or other type of low down. The second step is you want to get pre-approved for that type of program. Just like buying a single family home, you need to speak with a lender, but with multifamily, you try to work with someone, a lender who understands the rental income and has lent on multifamilies before. The lender will be able to use some of the expected rental income, about 70%, to help you qualify for that loan. And this is important because the numbers are a little different than buying a regular house. You're not just looking at your personal income, you're also looking at the property's income potential, and they'll use market rents. The third step is really understanding the numbers. This is where a lot of new investors get confused. You need to look at the purchase price, expected rents, taxes, insurance, utilities, repairs, vacancy, management, and of course your mortgage payment, which people say principal and interest, PITI, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. Now, a big mistake beginners make is only looking at rent and the mortgage payment. For example, the mortgage, let's say it's $3,000 and the rents are $3,600. So, I cash flow $600. Great. That's not really how it works. That's not the full picture. You still have repairs, vacancy, maintenance, possibly some water sewer bills if it's on septic, unless it's on septic and well. You got landscaping costs, snow removals. A lot of homes have a common electric meter and a lot of other expenses. So you need to analyze the deal with realistic numbers. Now, typically when I analyze a deal, I account for 5% of the total rent roll, again, total rent roll, total income coming in, to be put aside for vacancy rate. This is if I have a turnover and I'm going to have some sort of vacancy. I also put 5% of the total rent roll away for maintenance and repairs, and about 3% of the total rent roll away for things we call CapEx items. Think of CapEx items like a big ticket items like a roof, siding, driveway, or a new furnace. These are outside the normal scope or general wear and tear of the maintenance and repair bucket. The last thing you want to happen is you have $200 in your property management account and you need a new $10,000 roof. If you're curious about how I analyze my deals, you can actually download my free Excel analysis sheet with the link below. Now, the fourth step is looking at the condition of the property. With multifamily properties, condition matters a lot. You want to pay attention to, like I said, big ticket items, roof, heating, when was all that last updated? Plumbing, is it, original cast iron plumbing? Is it new ABS plumbing? Windows, are they original to the house? Are they replacement windows? What kind of windows are they? Siding, is it aluminum siding? Is it vinyl siding? How's the driveway look? Is there any major repairs coming up? Because you don't want to buy the house and immediately have to dump a bunch of other money into it. And you also want to know what you're walking into, of course. A property that looks cheap up front can become very expensive. Ask me how I know, if it needs major work, right? So sometimes the best deal is not always the cheapest property, but it's the property with the best condition and best combination of price, rents, condition, and long-term upside, right? Don't just go to the cheapest property. Now, the next step is really understanding the rents. Do not just trust the rents listed online or on the MLS or on Zillow or Realtor or any of those sites. You want to verify what the current tenants are paying and compare that to market rent. So am I getting under market tenants? Do I have room to increase rents? Ask yourself a few questions. Are the tenants under market? Simple. Are the leases month to month or are they long-term? Are they stuck in a long-term lease? Well, now I have to wait 6 to 9 months just to increase rents. And who's collecting the rents? Is it currently being property managed, or is there an owner collecting the rents? And make sure everyone's up to date on their rents. And again, could the rents be increased over time? This matters because a multifamily property is valued heavily based on the income. If rents are low, there may be some significant equity or upside. Think about and be realistic about how quickly you can raise rents and what condition you needs to be to justify those rents, right? If I'm buying a property and the market rent is $1,800 and it's currently rented at $1,200, okay, that's great, but is that unit turnkey? Or do I need to drop another $10,000 updating the flooring, new appliances, countertops? So, it's nice, think about this, it's nice to acquire a property with as little down payment as possible, utilizing one of those FHA loans, for example. And personally, I would rather finance my entire acquisition through a 3.5% down loan versus coming out of pocket additional capital expenditure. So I'll give you an example. Let's say I bought a $500,000 house and I used a 3.5% down loan and it's turnkey. I don't need to do a thing. That's great. I'm financing everything over 30 years. It's a beautiful thing. Versus paying $400,000 with a 3.5% down loan, but now I close on it, and now I still need to come out of pocket for a roof. I still need to come out of pocket for a couple unit turns, and now that's out of my pocket in today's money. I'm not able to finance that over 30 years. So when you're shopping for your house, make sure you are shopping for something that's truly, truly, truly turnkey if you want to take advantage of a nice 30-year loan, FHA loan with 3.5% down. So the sixth step, thinking about relocating to West Hartford, Connecticut, well, I've got just the thing for you. My team and I have actually taken the time to create the ultimate relocation guide, which is ultimately meant to save you hours of research, and I've linked it down below. From top employers to the best hospitals and a boatload of other things that you're going to need to know before making the move. The best part is this guide is 100% free. That's right, you heard me, 100% free. Just click the link in the description or the top pinned comment. Hope that helps. Multifamily property, you want to think like an investor, right? It's not just about whether you like the property. Try to take emotion out of it. I know it's hard to do, but try to do it. It's more about whether the deal makes sense financially on paper. Your offer should be based on the income, expenses, condition, and finances that we talked about before, and of course meet all your investment goals. And if the property needs a lot of work, this should be reflected in your offer. If the rents are below market, that should be an opportunity for you to negotiate. It depends on your market, and obviously if it's competitive, you might not have as much negotiation power, but these are just all things to think about. Once you make the offer and you get the property accepted, you want to begin your due diligence period. This is a chance for you to review all of your documents, your leases, your rent roll. Maybe you're going to ask for an estoppel agreement. An estoppel agreement is basically tenants signing off that, yes, this is who I am, this is the unit I live in, this is how much rent I pay, and this is my security deposit. This is the number one thing I always see clients coming back for, is because they will they won't get a credit at closing for a security deposit. The tenant moves out and they say, hey, where's my security deposit? And you go back to them and say, well, you don't have one. What are you talking about? And they say, yes, I do. And now it's a back and forth. And if you never got that security deposit, then it's your word against theirs, and it becomes an issue. We want to avoid issues. So an estoppel agreement, not every deal, or not every landlord, especially if it's a really good deal and they're just kind of checked out, not every deal you're going to be able to get them, but at least have your agent ask for an estoppel agreement. And again, an estoppel agreement, if you're buying a 20-unit multifamily, it's a lot harder to get. But for a two-unit, just 2 tenants, have them, and your attorney can provide a boilerplate, or ChatGPT or Claude can provide a boilerplate estoppel agreement. But it's just name unit number, lease dates, and security deposit. Yes, I, Mike Doherty, is saying I have a $1,500 security deposit, or I, Mike Doherty, agreed that I have a zero security deposit. So there's no argument when I move out. Sorry, so when you do a unit turn. So again, we're going to review leases, rent rolls, utility bills, tax information, insurance costs, and any other available income and expense information you can gather from the landlord. You also want to inspect all the units, basements, attics, mechanicals, exteriors, and common areas. This is where you can confirm whether the deal you thought was good after, on paper or, walking through it, you can actually confirm, yes, it's a good deal, I'm buying it. I can't tell you the amount of times I've gotten my offer accepted and later found out that the tenants were behind on rent or weren't even paying on time, or actually owe an outstanding balance. So again, the leases and estoppel agreements are real, and proof of rent payment through bank statements are really, really good things to ask for during your due diligence period. And if you need to extend your due diligence period, you can. No problem. Have your agent write an extension. It's not a problem at all. Most will be granted. But you want to make sure you are going in with confidence after your due diligence period, because that is your time to back out. I would also say it's important to work with a realtor, someone like myself maybe, who has experience in multifamily properties. Maybe they own a couple of themselves, or maybe they are in the process of buying them, but certainly that they've sold these before. It's just a little bit different of an animal than a traditional single family home. And of course, you want to have a plan. Before you buy the property, know what your plan is. Are you going to live in one of the units? Are you just buying it for investment purposes? Are you going to renovate the units over time? Are you going to raise rents? Are you going to self-manage? Or are you going to hire out property management? I actually have a separate video on property management and my thoughts on that. So go check that out on my channel. But bottom line, a multifamily property can be a great first step, but just go in with the plan. The biggest benefit of buying your first multifamily is that it can teach you the fundamentals of real estate investing and really set you up for life. You learn how to analyze numbers. You learn how to manage tenants. You learn how repairs work. Maybe learn how to be a little handy yourself. You learn how the financing works. And most importantly, you start building equity and long-term wealth. So I can't stress that enough. So again, if you're thinking about buying your first multifamily property, start with the basics, get pre-approved, understand your loan options, learn how to analyze the numbers and the rent roll and the expenses, study the rents, ask your realtors questions, look closely at the condition, get an inspection report, and make sure the deal actually makes sense on paper. Don't get caught up emotionally in the property, bottom line. And again, please, if you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe. I try to teach wealth building, and we're both on our journey to grow our portfolios. If you have any questions at all, if you want to invest in Connecticut, I'm here to help. Any questions at all, don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks again.